Hi everyone, welcome back to another video in the Web Security Academy series. In today's video, we'll be covering lab number 11 in the cross-site scripting module titled DOM XSS in AngularJS expression with angle brackets and double quotes HTML encoded. If you do not have an account on the Web Security Academy, you can get one by visiting the URL portswigger.net/websecurity and clicking on the sign up button. I already have an account and I am logged in, so to access the exercise, I'm going to click on Academy, select all labs, do a search on cross-site scripting labs, and go to lab number 11 titled DOM XSS in AngularJS expression with angle brackets and double quotes HTML encoded. Alright, let's get started. This lab contains a DOM-based cross-site scripting vulnerability in an AngularJS expression within the search functionality. AngularJS is a popular JavaScript library which scans the contents of HTML nodes containing the ng-app attribute, also known as an AngularJS directive. When a directive is added to the HTML code, you can execute JavaScript expressions within double curly braces. This technique is useful when angle brackets are being encoded. To solve this lab, perform a cross-site scripting attack that executes an AngularJS expression and calls the alert function. Alright, so the target goal over here is to exploit the DOM-based XSS vulnerability in the search functionality and call the alert function. Let's access the lab. Now notice over here, this is the built-in browser in Burp, and so all my requests are already being passed in my Burp proxy. When it comes to DOM-based XSS vulnerabilities, I don't really use a proxy. Instead, I use the developer tools in the browser. And so for today, we won't be using the proxy and we'll just be using the browser itself. As usual, the first thing to do is map the application and see if any user-supplied input is potentially changing the document object model. So the first thing we're going to do is put in a random string over here. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Click on search and then view the page source. So let's click on inspect and do a search on our string. So Control F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And actually we just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you could see over here there's only one match, which is what is reflected to me in the heading element. However, the first thing that I do notice over here is the ng-app keyword, which means that the application is using AngularJS. In fact, if we go to the heading element over here, you could see that the application is pulling down AngularJS version 1.7. So the application is definitely using AngularJS. Now, the important thing to note over here is that ng-app is a directive that tells AngularJS that this is the root element of the AngularJS application, and content inside the ng-app element can contain AngularJS code. And that's really what is going to allow us to perform our DOM-based XSS vulnerability. So all we have to do is use the syntax for AngularJS in order to perform our attack. And the syntax will be as follows. So we'll have two curly brackets, and then we'll use the $sign, and we'll explain what everything means in a bit. So we'll say on.constructor alert 1, and then we close our constructor, and that is pretty much it. So essentially over here, the $sign on is an event handler function in AngularJS, and the constructor is a function that when invoked executes its arguments, and its arguments over here is to call the alert function. So that's pretty much it. So let's copy this, put it in here, hit search, and we should be presented with an alert box, and we do. Let's click OK, and we get the congratulations, you solved the lab message. Alright, so we successfully completed the exercise by exploiting the DOM-based XSS vulnerability. In the next lab, we'll look at another case of a cross-site scripting vulnerability.